So today we're going to be looking at the consultation on proposed changes to the assessment of GCSEs, AS and A levels in 2021. But we're going to be doing it with a focus on AS and A levels too. Fortunately for us, they've packaged them nicely together so that we can look at it all in one nice table. So last time we looked at GCSEs, today is all about you AS and A level students for next summer. So this is the front page. If you haven't seen the document already, we're just going to jump down to page 26. And that is where we will start. As you can see, it's the proposals for each GCE, AS and A level subject. Yes, we're going to go through this subject by subject. It's in alphabetical order, so jump to where you need to in this video if you don't want to listen to the entire thing. So we're going to begin with accounting AS and A level. In the past, as you can see here, it was 100% examination, and they're proposing for 2021 that there's no change there, 100% examination still. We're seeing a similar thing for ancient history, AS and A level. They stay the same, 100% examination, no changes. Art and design, however, features the same change that we saw in GCSE, whereas it was 60% portfolio and 40% externally set assignment, which we tend to get around February and which tends to end around May, June-ish time, that's going to be gone now. Instead, it's just going to be that portfolio that I've been working on over the course of the year, and the moderation is going to take place by photographic and digital portfolio, which is very useful. It lifts a lot of weight off of us staff and also lifts a lot of weight off of you students, which is super important. It allows you to just sit down and work with the materials that you've got without the stress of having that externally set assignment. Biblical Hebrew, the few people that take this, I do not know any personally, but for you guys, you have no change to your course. 100% examination before, still 100% examination in 2021. Biology AS, 100% examination in the past with these practical activities which covered apparatus and techniques and all that sort of stuff, which was supposed to support your exam papers. That's going to be gone potentially. There's going to be permission given for schools and staff to do the experiments themselves and students just to watch, and this of course stops cross-contamination in terms of viruses and stuff like that we're going through at the moment, and it also allows time to be saved. For the A-level exam, in the past you've had to, it's of course 100% examination, but it included the completion of 12 practical activities to demonstrate competency against this common practical assessment criteria, or CPAC, for the separately reported practical endorsement. Now, what they're proposing is that the examination stays 100%, or is that it stays 100% examination, but there's changes to the CPAC, and it would make it so that less exams or less practical activities had to be done. It would also allow exam boards to monitor centres' application of CPAC by remote means, so they wouldn't have to send anyone in for moderation. Business AS and A level, no change. 100% examination before, 100% examination after. Chemistry AS, we're looking at exactly the same thing as the biology. Before, it required it required the tests and of course the practical part, but they're saying allow teachers to do the practical part and students to observe it. And for the A level, chemistry A level, it's exactly the same thing, where before, those who were doing the separately reported practical endorsement, the CPAC, that can now be shrunken down a bit, and it will be monitored by remote means. Classical civilization AS and A level, 100% examination before, 100% examination after, no change. Same for classical Greek AS and A level, and same for computer science AS. Alright, so computer science AS is not changing. Computer science A level isn't changing either. It remains 80% examination and 20% NEA. Alright, that's non-exam assessment. So, on to dance. Now, I'm not going to spell out dance. I'm sure that most of you are familiar with dance, and if you take it, and the different parts within it, the different performances that you have to do, the choreography and all those sorts of assessments. Before they were 50% examination and 50% NEA, that's not changing. But the requirements for all your performances and your choreography and all those sorts of stuff that will change. It's very similar to the GCSE changes, where the time lengths of the performances will be reduced. The amount of dancers needed will be reduced. And also, there's this increased weight put on this sketchbook and portfolio of drawings, research, and stuff like that. Okay, so I definitely suggest that if you're doing dance AS or A level, because A level has a very similar thing, shrunk time with a lot more emphasis put on this portfolio, go and check out this document because you're going to experience a lot of change. All right, so that's for dance AS and A level. DT, so design and technology, before 50% exam and 50% NEA. And the NEA is a portfolio and prototype of an iteratively designed response to an exam board set brief. Very similar to art with the NEA and what that is. What this is proposing is similar to the GCSE, where even though it stays 50% exam and 50% NEA, mock-ups or prototypes will be allowed instead of something fully finished like would have been necessary in the past. And I think the reason behind that is the health concerns around sharing all that, the materials and all the machines. And they're also allowing the demonstration of using machinery, tools and processes, because of course that same reason. The A level, exactly the same thing. So same changes, same reasons. Drama and theatre. Okay, this is another one which is massive. Loads of changes here. And even though the 40% exam, 60% NEA doesn't change, it's all about maintaining social distancing, so allowing things to be streamed and recorded rather than people having to come in and sit, and about reducing time and allowing less people to be in a performance, and pushing things like monologues and these portfolios. Okay, once again, I would advise that those of you who are taking this course come and have a careful read through of this document, especially if this goes ahead. Same for the A level for drama and theatre, very similar sort of stuff, with shortened times and a lot more supported work accepted. Economics AS and A level. Before it was 100% examination, it's still going to be 100% examination. Electronics, before it was 80% examination and 20% NEA, with the NEA being student set and with a teacher verified extended system design and realization task. That doesn't appear to change. I know the writings disappeared on the right bit, but I assume it is the same thing, so there doesn't seem to be any change there. English language and AS and English language A level does not change. So for AS it was 100% examination before, it's still going to be 100% examination in 2021. For the A level it was 80% examination before and 20% NEA, and now it's still going to be 8% examination and 20% NEA. English language and literature AS and A level had exactly the same breakdown for AS to A level as language does, and they're exactly the same too. English literature and AS, exactly the same thing. Alright, so all the Englishes stayed the same, there's no change. Environmental science, AS and A level, another one which I didn't even know was a subject. Pretty cool that it is though. It was 100% examination and required completion of practical activities, just like the other sciences, so biology and chemistry that we've seen so far. They're going to allow you to watch your teachers do the stuff instead. Film studies. For AS, it was 70% examination and 30% NEA, with the requirement that you create an extract from a film or an extract from a screenplay with a digitally photographed storyboard, both in response to an exam board set brief with evaluative analysis of your own work. Alright, the ratio doesn't change, still 70% examination and 30% NEA. However, they're permitting exam boards to accept a prototype mock-up with support of evidence as necessary. So basically they don't need to see the entire thing. A mock-up or some evidence, whether that be photographic or sketch or whatever, that will be allowed. And once again, they're pushing for this portfolio, like with dance and like with the GCSE media studies and film studies. Film studies A level, exactly the same sort of thing, 70%, 30%, with the same requirements in the changes for 2021. Further maths, AS and A level, no changes, 100% both before and after. For geography, it was 100% examination with requirement for 2 days of fieldwork, and they're still keeping the 100% examination requirement. And they're also still keeping the requirement for the fieldwork, but the session should be shorter. And the activity should be shorter. They don't need to necessarily be 2 days. Geography A level, 8% examination, 20% NEA with the 4 days of fieldwork required. And it's exactly the same as before. It can be conducted in a shorter amount of time, that fieldwork now. Geology AS, so 100% examination with requirement for 2 days of fieldwork. It's going to stay 100% examination, or they propose that it stays it, but the fieldwork should be conducted in shorter sessions and activities, just like with geography. And for the practical work, they should be doing what the other sciences are doing and allowing for stuff to be observed rather than actually having to be done by every student. The A level for geology is just like the other sciences too, with the whole CPAC thing. And yeah, so it stays 100% examination, still requires the field work, but with that CPAC area, they're allowing for the endorsement to be remotely reviewed and moderated. History AS, no change, 100% before, 100% after. History A level, 80% before and then 20%, 80% examination and 20% NEA. That's going to stay the same as well. History of art, AS and A level. Latin, AS and A level. Law, AS and A level. All stay the same. Pure exam. Maths, AS and A level, stays the same with 100% examination. No change to that, no change to content. Maths is exactly the same. Media studies, which was 70% exam before with a 30% NEA, stays the same, but just like film studies, it has the same changes where they allow prototypes and mock-ups and that supporting portfolio as well. A level is exactly the same for media studies too. MFL, so modern foreign languages, AS and A level, it stays the same with 70% exam and 30% NEA, that's speaking. It was that before and it's going to stay that afterwards. For MFL with listening, reading and writing, that was 100% exam before, it's going to stay 100% exam after. Alright, so in 2021. Music AS. Alright, we're seeing a pretty similar change to what we saw in the GCSE section. So it was 40% exam before, 6% NEA as well. It's still going to stay with that 40-60 split, but the performances will be shorter. It will require some extra support stuff to make up for some of these changes, and all in all, it's stuff which I really think that if you're doing AS or A level music, you need to come and take a look at, because it's very, very specific to you and your subject, and there's a lot of numbers being moved around, things being changed from 10 minutes like down to 3.5 minutes. It's quite a lot, so come and have a look. For music technology, we're looking at similar stuff. The split is still the same, 60-40, but once again, we're looking at things being reduced and also looking at a bit more weight being put on the teacher marking stuff, as well as the exam board, or either or. So a little bit of a mix up there. So just come and take a look if you're taking music tech. For philosophy, AS and A level, it was 100% examination before. They're proposing it stays that. PE, 70-30 split in the past. And the NEA was a performance or coaching assessment, and it was one activity, and it could be either team or individual. And it also was supposed to have a written performance analysis task. And of course, there would still be that moderation where people came in to have a look. Well, by the looks of it, I don't think anything has changed apart from the fact that remote moderation will be allowed. So that's videoing and getting people to check that, as opposed to coming into the actual school itself. Physics, AS and A level goes the way of biology, chemistry and geology, where you're watching the stuff take place and the CPAC isn't quite going to be moderated or monitored the same. So no massive changes there. Politics, AS and A level. Psychology, AS and A level. Both of those remain 100% examination. Same for RS, so religious studies. Same for sociology, and same for statistics. All of them remain 100% examination. So thanks for listening to that and listening to me go through each of the subjects. As you can see, there's actually not that much change when it comes to these exams. Most of them stay exactly how they are. There's a bit of alterations with the creative subjects, which is unsurprising, and that they rarely look suitable, but they're quite detailed, so come and take a look. Of course, consultation is going on at the moment as I'm doing this, so there might be some changes to this. None of this is confirmed and set in stone, but know that most of you will be sitting the exams exactly the way as your predecessors have. A few of you will change for, and they're good changes, especially for art, and it looks pretty good for music, dance and film and so on. So yeah, overall I'm pretty positive about these proposals. I think they will make a difference, and although I do think that you guys are going to have a lot of revising to do, by now you should be pretty independent anyway, because you're A-level students, you're not GCSE anymore, you're not children. So really all I can advise you to do is just to keep practicing, keep revising, keep studying, keep working, and when September starts back, you're going to be ready. You're going to be ready for the year that's going to come. We don't know how the future is going to turn out. We don't know whether things will spike and schools will get shut down again, but just do what you can, guys, and don't stress too much. You've got this, all right? So that's all for today. Make sure to subscribe and comment your thoughts down below in the comments, and check out some of our other videos as well to do with education. And once again, thanks for listening. Until next time.